using my power to rise stronger after each fall, overcoming all obstacles and taking one step after the other to reach my goals. Choosing to grow, change, and write my own story with the help of those that walk on the same path. This is resilience in action.
Hi, thank you so much for being us in our last show, but only for the year. This is the last show for Resilience in Action. I am Jolie Chaires, and as always, together with Dr. Emilio O'Neill. How are you?
I'm happy to be here. And yes, last session of this year. Excited to close this one, to close this year and get rid of a bunch of stuff in my mind, in my soul, and move on to the next year feeling clean and feeling ready to go.
I'm almost ready, but that cleans, already happened. It was kind of intense. And
Yeah.
after our last episode, when we were talking how to review our year, that was I'm not going to say it. That's kind of interesting. However, that's why because of that, now as promised, we are going to talk about how to set up those goals that we want to achieve on 2025 in a way that we actually do it and we don't get in the middle.
Absolutely. And let's start with our reflection and closing our eyes and taking a deep breath and just giving ourselves permission to be here, to be present in this conversation, and to say, you know what, I have the right to a few minutes for myself, to learn about myself, about each other, and to take something away from this program. To take a deep breath and just come back and let's go.
Whatever you take away, share it, please. And take it away, just keep it with you and then share it. We're going to talk about like we said about how to set up my goals for the new year. We always try to do something. This sense of new beginning, well, for us, not for China, for example, they have another calendar, but for us is this sense that I am starting something new and the possibility to leave everything behind, all that it didn't work, I can leave it behind. But now we want to share with you how to do it in a way that my goal doesn't, end up like losing in the middle of January or starting February. I don't even remember what I said that I was going to do.
Exactly. And we have been talking about this in the past uh, couple of episodes, I think, where we talked about chaos, for example. No, we talked about how to turn it into a creative process where this chaos is telling us, hey, pay attention. And this is an opportunity for you to grow, to evolve, to become a better person. And then last time we were talking about the pillars of resilience, right? We were saying, hey, take a look at each one of these pillars and reflect on them and say, you know what, I want to work on my physical resilience or my mental resilience, and I want to improve the way I relate to myself and others. So that was a homework, remember? I was just thinking about that. And before we go into the steps, it's important also to finish this year by taking the time to do some cleaning, no, some house cleaning, where we say, you know what, the things that hurt me, the things that don't work anymore, I'm going to get rid of. Usually, what I do is write a list of those feelings, those thoughts, the events, the things that hurt me this year. And as I put them on paper, I say goodbye to them. I thank whatever event or person uh, hurt me and say, okay, thank you for what I learned from this experience. And then I burn that little piece of paper. If we are with a family, we, make a campfire or we go to the fireplace and just get rid of them. The Irish, for example, what they do right at midnight is they open doors and windows to let the old year leave the house, no? It's like fill it with good energy. In Mexico, of course, we have the tradition of eating 12 grapes in those 12 seconds. And or running around the block with suitcases, no, so that we can travel. There's many traditions. So whatever tradition you have, do it with a purpose, okay? Like start focusing your energy on what you want to achieve, how you want to feel next year, and start going in that route.
And if you wanna have fun and open the windows as the Irish, you can add a very Mexican tradition to sweep your house from back to front to actually get rid of all the, bad energy and whatever. Yeah, I was thinking just with the windows and the door, but just sweep if you want to and you have fun. And actually your house is going to be clean. But these cleans, I think it's these traditions, wherever you are from, are exactly it's like to wrap around our heads that it's the new year and that we're going to start over, blank slate, and that it's something exciting because we feel that we have the opportunity to do over, right? But
Yes.
what we don't want, never, but somehow we end up doing it sometimes, is that do-over, it's a do-over every single year because I don't achieve my goals or not all of them, or
Mhm.
I got lost somewhere because I
Mhm.
didn't know exactly how to set up my goal. And that is actually something really smart way to
Yeah.
do it.
Yes, I think when we start with that attitude of saying, I no longer these negative feelings, these negative thoughts, these emotions that are hurting me, it's a way to reset our brains, our souls, our hearts, right? So now we are ready to establish new goals. And to do that, number one is awareness. Remember, that's our magic word, is to say, what is it that I really need to accomplish? It's not only about saying, oh, I need to write a book, no? Well, you're going to write a book. Why? No? What for? That's the phrase that I like to use a lot. This is a question that we can ask ourselves 4 or 5 times when we say, this is what I want to do. We were talking about, for example, losing weight or establishing good relationships, making new friends. So, what for? What for? What for? What for? Because by asking ourselves that question, we really go deeper and deeper every time until we get to the true and honest answer. So I had a client in my office saying, I need to lose this weight, no? And I said, okay, what for? Well, I need to feel better. And question
What
again,
for?
what for? No, and it was, well, because I don't like how I look. Okay, so why do you want to do it? And after asking himself the question 4 or 5 times, he said, I want to be healthy because I want to be there for my children. My blood pressure is so high, my weight is, I'm obese, and my joints hurt, so I cannot play with them. I cannot run after them. They're very young, and I don't want to die and leave them without a father. So that was the true and honest answer. By doing that, what we achieve here is to make our goal something that really has significance for us, no? It has a purpose. It's not only something that, somebody said that it could be good for me, no? It's, I want to lose that weight because I want to be there for my children. It has value and it has a meaning for you and you alone. So take the time, write a list. Again, we're going with lists this year, right? It's saying, I got rid of the things that I don't want. Now I have to write 2 or 3 things I want to achieve this year, and ask yourself that question every time. You go to that thing you want to achieve, and it's what for? What for? What for? Until you say, this is my real true meaning, and it gives me a purpose. So if you see, by doing that, we are ready now to establish a goal or and objectives to achieve it. So that's what we're going to do. What do you think?
Exactly. And that's what I was asking when we were doing our Spanish version of this, like, how am I going to do this? I mean, I have a calendar and it's actually in front of me, and I was looking at it, and I bought it because I like chalkboards and I like to write on them. And this is a calendar like that. But I was thinking, what should I do? Just to put my goal there and then, check mark if I want to, I don't know, read more this year. Okay, I read a page today and I am going to put a check mark, or how can do it in a way that actually gives me the sense and the satisfaction that I am getting somewhere.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So we said the first thing, be aware of what you need. Second, make that goal, that purpose, something relevant to your life. No, it has to be important for you, not for your mom, your husband, your children. So once you do that, we are going to talk about this method, if you will, that is called SMART. Every letter in that word gives us guidance as to how to set our goals. So the word SMART is going to be five letters, and the first one, the S, means specific. So I have sat down, I have become aware of what I want to change, what I want to achieve. Now I have to be very, very specific. And what we do here is that we're going to ask ourselves what, where, who, when, and why. So if you see, we're going to be going into detail of what we want to do. So if what I want to do is lose weight, for example, because I want to be healthy, it's okay. I am going to visit the doctor. I'm going to talk to him or her and say, this is what I need. I'm sure in the case of this client I was telling you about, the doctor told him, it is important that you lose this weight because that's going to lower your blood pressure, the pain in your joints, etc. So talk to that doctor, talk to a therapist, talk to a friend and say, how can I achieve this goal? You want to lose, say, 40 pounds? Okay. What is the healthy way to do it? Maybe the doctor will give you a guide, no, to know what the best foods are for you. So don't compare yourself to any others. Don't say, let me copy that from you and I'll do the same. We are all unique, we are different, and our needs are the same way, no? So where? Okay, am I going to change my diet? Yes. What kind of food am I going to eat? Do I have to cook for the week and keep it in the fridge? Do I want to go to a gym? Or do I want to just make space in my house to have, a room to do my exercise? The who here in this case would be, who's going to support me with this? If you have children, like this client I was sharing with you, well, is my spouse going to help me with the children while I do my exercise, no? And so I can focus. And remember, do not lose track of the what for, no? I'm doing this to be healthier, and I'm going to do it this way. If you see, we're going into very, very deep detail describing every single thing I need to do to achieve it.
If you don't have your notebook right there, don't worry. We are going to write on the description. You're going to find the smart word with the what letter each letter stands for. So you don't have to remember if you don't have your notebook right now. Of course, you can revisit these programs all the times that you want, but it is important that you have it there to write it down. It's one of the things that we talk about always. To write things down actually has a bigger purpose because your brain is making connections. It's not the same if you think it and you're very sure that you're not going to forget, and maybe you don't because you have an excellent memory. But when you write it down, that way your brain is making connections and it's like an anchor for whatever you are writing. So it is important to do it. And talking about goals, if I am going to make a plan, which these steps are for, it's very important to write them. So my very beautiful chalkboard calendar is going to be used this year.
Absolutely. So Yes, you have sat down, thought about it, you have found the reason why you want to do it. Now you're being very specific as to what, when, who, where, etc. And now we're going to move to the M of the word SMART, and M means measurable. So what we're saying here is that we have to set a measure that will let us know that we have achieved the goal. So if we're talking about writing a book, I'm going to say, okay, I have 5 chapters. I'm going to write 1 chapter a week. I'm listening to myself right now, guys. And at the end of the 5 weeks, I'm going to have the draft. No, now I'm going to send it to the person that's going to read it for me and edit it. And now it's going to come back. So if I have deadlines, if I have a measurement where I say, okay, achieved, I'm going to feel happy, I'm going to feel accomplished, and it's going to keep me going. So make sure if you're talking about losing weight, okay, give yourself a realistic, and that moves us to the next part, no? But something that you can actually achieve. Talk to your doctor, and if he says, well, it's going to take you 6 months or a year, okay, set it like that, and then go to the objectives, not to smaller achievable goals. So measure it, and then we move on to the next letter, no, which is achievable.
Exactly. Because that's what I think it is one of the main reasons that make us just to say like, oh, okay, I didn't do it, fine. Or simply forget one day I didn't get up to go to the gym, or I came back from work like really tired and the TV was way more attractive than the treadmill or whatever I am doing. It's something because if we, like I said, if we don't have them, like write them down, and we don't actually have this sense of a structure, it's really easy to lose ourselves in life, basically, business and all the things that we have to do during the day. But if we have it clear, we made a space already in our time and other things. And this makes my goal achievable, right?
Exactly. So remember, in the word SMART, we have specific, measurable, achievable. And if you see, they all go together, no? And achievable means I am going to organize my activities in a way that I can really follow through. So if I want to lose 40 pounds and I say, oh yeah, I can do this in a week, well, it's not going to happen, no? If you're
Well, maybe
doing it
yes,
in a
but
healthy way,
yeah.
yeah, or otherwise you'll end up in the hospital, no? And I'm not sure you'll achieve the 40 pounds anyway. But the thing is, don't set goals and deadlines or objectives where you know that it's not going to happen. You're going to feel frustrated. You're going to feel so disappointed in yourself and life that you're going to give up. But if you say, I'm going to lose this weight in a year, then it's going to help you if week 1 you lose 1 pound and week 2 you lose 3. You're, going after the final goal, which is 40. So that way you don't get disappointed. And we're going to talk about this, how celebrating every little success is going to keep us going as well, no? So having a goal that is achievable and measurable, and the next letter, the R, realistic, is going to make a difference. No?
That's what I was
So
going to say. I can celebrate when I actually got there. But if it was only in my mind, in my idea, it was that, in ideal, and not something like very specific as the first word says. And if I am expecting not to go step by step and just try to, take a really, really huge jump from the beginning to my goal, which it can be long time. If I am talking about 6 months losing weight, I cannot do it in 1 day or in 2, but I cannot just skip all the process. And that is when it has to be realistic. How can I make my goal realistic?
well, first of all, you have to look at the resources that you have. No, it's saying, okay, it's not the same if we keep talking about the example of losing weight, it is not the same when you're 20 than when you're 40 or when you're 70, no? I mean, a 20-year-old can lose the weight just by walking around the block, no? But then hormones take
Yes.
place, illness takes place, many things happen that can make it, our metabolism change. So it may take us a little longer. Being realistic is going to the doctor and saying, okay, this is what I need to do. And maybe check something that we do in therapy a lot, or I do, is ask people to say, okay, let's make sure that there's nothing physical causing this problem. Sometimes if we talk about depression, it can be what we call an organic depression, which is a lack of substances in our brain. And then there's another type of depression that is more circumstantial, no? If something happened, you had a loss, and you're feeling sad, no? So when we do these type of studies, we can discard factors. So the same thing here, no? If what resources do you have? If it's physical resilience that you're trying to enhance, what is it that I need to do if what I want is to increase the number of friends that I have? If I want to have healthier relationships, what is it that I need to do? Do I know the steps? Or can I talk to a professional? Can I talk to a therapist and say, hey, I find it very hard to make new friends? Because we can help you and say, okay, there's some experiments that you can try to start talking to others. No, that's something that we find a lot in sessions, is that people have 1,000 friends online, but when it comes to face, it generates a lot of anxiety. No? So talk to someone that you trust. Talk to someone that knows and has the experience to help you achieve your goals. No? They will help you also to be realistic, and they can also help you establish the steps that you need to follow. Does that make sense? I hope.
Of course, because in the beginning you were talking that we need to find the purpose in my goal. What is it? What is important? Why do I have to get there? For what? You were saying. And sometimes we cannot even get to the paper to burn it because we feel overwhelmed and because there are a lot of things that we have like unconclusive in our mind, on our hearts, our emotions, our life. And then it's when we said, please talk to a professional, please go to therapy. And it's not a commercial, but seriously, talk to somebody that actually can help you to do that. It's to get there to the realistic part, because when we don't have our emotions in check, and in check, I am saying not because they have to be under control. It's that I know what I feel, I know what is happening, and the year is ending, and I don't even know what I'm feeling. That's not going to take me to a realistic goal, right? So we have to do all this work first. And that's why we talked about how to review your year, but also this other part. And we are in time. So it doesn't matter if tomorrow, well, tomorrow is the 31st. So yeah, you have more time. In today's is the first, but still we have some time to do it, right? Or at least to schedule your appointment
You
with
have
with
12
a
hours to
therapist.
change your lives, right?
No. No, you took me like, no, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you still have time. Like if you feel right now that you really need help, you can look for it. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Not to rethink your life. I'm sorry.
Um, but I think these traditions help because they are an invitation,
I'm
right?
sorry.
Okay, end of the year, end of this period of my life. We were saying in another show, know how for some 2024 was really, really challenging. And it's a time to say, take a deep breath and look at yourself where you are today. Accept yourself as you come, as you are, because otherwise change is not going to happen. That's the ingredient number one, to say, hey, I do need or want to change something in me, or about my life, my relationships, right? And the last part is to set deadlines. When we talk about it being measurable, is to say, when is this going to be achieved? No, am I going to do it during this year? Is it going to be like December 2025 when I say achieved or not achieved? Is it going to be next month? So all of these things, as you can see, the purpose of them is to keep you focused, to keep you motivated, and to keep you going. Because, yeah, sometimes if we start a diet one day, the next week I didn't lose any weight, or I didn't lose as much as I wanted to, and we say, oh my God, it's not going to work. But if I know that I gave myself a year, and that every week, even if it's only 10 grams or a pound or whatever it is, I can see that it is happening. And the last part, no, it's not a part of the SMART, but I think it encompasses the whole thing, is celebrate every single step of the way. Celebrate every gram, every ounce that you lose. Celebrate every word that you write if you're writing a book. Celebrate every hello that you say when you're trying to make new friends. Every small step counts to accomplish the big goal. Every step you take.
Yes, there is I was thinking how it was, and I'm sorry if I don't say it exactly, or I am paraphrasing, but they said that life is what happens when you're trying to get somewhere, right? So if you have a goal and we don't enjoy the process, the goal is not going to feel nice. We're going to get there. You can achieve your goal, but if you didn't enjoy the process, it's going to be like, okay, I did it, whatever. And all that meaning that it has in the beginning, because what I wanted to do it, it's like it loses the meaning. So we have to celebrate little, big. And I'm sorry, for me, that's not measurable. I'm saying little, big, because for me, what is small for another person can be a huge accomplishment one day. So whatever it is important for you, just celebrate. And it's going to be the new year. Start today, celebrate whatever you didn't do this year. It's a celebrate already. It's a blank slate in 2 days.
And that's why we're saying this goal needs to be relevant for you, because then you are celebrating your own successes, just like you can celebrate somebody else's, even if they are not that important for you. No, we were saying when you have to clarify, or when you take the time to clarify what it is that you need, it really makes a difference. No, because if I decide that I want to learn Chinese today, it's like, okay, and we go, what for? Like, well, because everybody's learning Chinese. Like, okay, why is it important for you? If you ask me right now, it's like, well, it is really not important for me, because I don't have anything that makes it necessary for me, other than it being a fascinating language and a fascinating culture, of course, no? But I don't need it for work. I don't need it for any relationships. So it is easier for me to lose motivation if it doesn't have a meaning. And it is easier for me to not take it seriously, and then what is there to celebrate, right? But if writing a book is really important for me, then I can celebrate that I sat down to write a paragraph. Like these episodes that we are recording, no, our objective is clear. We want to help as many people as we can. We want to create these resiliency networks all over the world. No, we want to feel that we are there for each other, that's what makes us strong. So that's what keeps us going every week. Even if when we first started this, I'm going to confess this to you. We were wondering and trying to decide if we were going to do it only in Spanish or also in English. And Yoli says something like, yeah, let's do it in English and Spanish so we can be judged in both languages, right? So
Please.
And that was very scary. But the thing is, we have a purpose. So
Exactly.
even if we have an accent, our purpose is still the same, no? It's helping each other stay strong, helping each other enhance our resilience. And that's what keeps us going every week, guys.
Exactly. And if the word celebrate doesn't resonate with you and you say like, oh, how am I going to celebrate? Look at it as a reward. If you are somebody like, is it like me, like to distract yourself, I could be Dory Nemo easily. I can get distracted. Just the celebration can be a reward for yourself. Think about something that you can give you every week or every 2 weeks. And I'm not saying that you go and buy a car. I mean, that will be very nice. But I'm saying small things that you feel like that is a present for you. And that's a way to celebrate, to actually recognize whatever you're doing, which is important. And we humans tend to do that. Oh, it was nothing. No, 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 it was a lot. You are working for it. So please recognize it, celebrate it, reward it. And we try to do every week a reward somehow, but this is a reward for us. And that's why we're getting, I'm sorry, to the end of the episode. How? What are my 5 skills to increase my resilience this week?
Absolutely. So remember, always be aware of who you are, where you're standing, how you're feeling, and what you're needing. No, that's huge, because if you are aware of what it is that you need, that you feel, it will be a lot easier to establish your goals. No, so that's our number one always. No, find the higher purpose. Find your what for. Why do I want to do it? Because that will keep you going. No. Number 2 is being realistic and establishing achievable goals. Setting deadlines is our number 3, because this will help you keep track of what you're achieving and how you're advancing towards that goal. Number 4 is staying focused. If I am clear as to what I want, if I am clear as to how I am going to get there, it's easier to stay focused and to become aware of my distractions. No, like, oh, I'm making excuses here. No, I don't want to do it now. But if you are focused and clear, it will be easier to stay motivated. And what we were saying, please celebrate the small successes that you are achieving, okay? Motivation comes from that, from awareness, from consistency, from celebrating who we are today and how far we can get every single moment.
And of course, if you have somebody to celebrate with, take that person with you, and maybe you can achieve goals together also. Please celebrate. There is a moment to celebrate right now. We are finishing this year, and before we end this episode, we want to thank you for being with us. It's our 8th episode, and I know we started kind of late in the year, but like Emilia said, with a very clear intention and purpose to share with you whatever we actually achieved in sense of how to get better, how to increase our resilience, how we overcame a lot of things, and just to share it with you, if it resonates, if it helps you to write a better story in your life or to rewrite one or whatever you're trying to do. That is our purpose. This is for us, of course, but mainly for you that can find something in value here. And that's why we ask you all the time to share it. And of course, to say happy New Year and New Year's Eve. Have fun. Do what you have to do. Burn the papers, not the house. Please, with all the things. If you're going to swim or whatever you're going to do. If you are in Alaska, please don't open. Are you
Not
going
for
to
too
open the
long.
windows? I was thinking about that. You're going to open the windows? Tell me. And all the snow lights.
Absolutely. Yes, have a happy New Year. And please just be aware of your attitude, no? That we are here starting a new episode of our lives, and that we have everything we need, and that we have each other to support each other, to write the new chapter in our lives, to talk about the things that worked for us and the things that didn't work for us. And hopefully they will help you prevent some unnecessary pain, I would say, no? So Happy New Year. Thank you for being with us. Yoli, thank you for this adventure that we're sharing and the things that we have done for each other through the years. Looking forward to another year together.
Yes, almost a decade. I was thinking the other day in how many years, almost a decade. And 2025 is in 2 days. So don't forget that you find one new episode every week in our YouTube channel, O'Neill Resilience Institute. And also you can find us in social media, of course, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We are sharing some things, and stay tuned because 2025, the O'Neill Resilience Institute has things that they are cooking there, and we are going to share them with you. And of course, whoever can be part of that is going to be invited. So we are going to be talking about that next year, like in a week. Like in a week, but yes, the number is totally different. So please enjoy. Emilia, also thank you for trusting me and for inviting me and to do this together. It has been not an adventure per se, but I think like a blessing. I learn all the time. Thank you so much. And thank you that you are seeing this, watching this, and come back whenever you want to this channel, review all the episodes, and you are going to find one new one, the first one for 2025. Thank you.
Happy New Year.